Hello everyone, this is the second episode of FimScripted. Today's episode we cover is, well, Hearts and Hooves Day. The catch, it's gender swapped. Well, mostly. But let's go have our VAs introduce themselves. Well, reintroduce themselves as it were, and their current roles. Any
Anyone gonna
volunteers?
go first? Alright, I guess I'll go first. Hi, my name is John Willow. I'm from Scotland, so it's about 2:30 in the morning here. I get the honor of playing Cheerily and Sweetie Belle. With Cheerily, I'm gonna try and stick close to the original voice actress. Well, you know what I mean. The essence of the voice actress, and with Sweetie Belle, I guess I'm gonna try to do the same. It might sound a bit like button mash because unfortunately that's the kind of high voice I can do. But anyway, that's my role, and I'm looking forward to it. This is one of my favorite episodes.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. I'm Cadet Redshirt. I'm going to be doing narration for the second half, and I'm also going to be playing Apple Bloom. For Apple Bloom's voice, I'm going to go a little bit more towards Big Macintosh, just because I found that it would be funnier.
I guess I can go next. Hello, I'm Jennifer. I'm from Cincinnati, and I will be doing the first narrator for pages 1 through 10, and Scootaloo for the narrator. I think in this, I'm going to try and imitate Tree Hugger from today's episode. For Big Mac, I'm going to do like a really low Fluttershy kind of voice, and for Scootaloo, I have actually no idea what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be kind of making it sound really, really gravelly, as male as I possibly can.
Alright, I guess I'll go next. Hi, I'm a herd of bronies, one of the brony analysts on YouTube. The roles I'm going to be playing today are Twilight, Mrs. Cake, and the Top Hat Stallion in the song.
Alright, now I guess I might as well introduce myself. I'm the Ninja DC, and I'm the moderator of sorts for this Not a Podcast script read. Alright, now with that said, let's begin with the read. And first of all, Hearts and Hooves Days, written by Megan McCarthy, produced by Sarah Wall, story edited by Rob Rinzanti, mispronounced most likely, supervising direction by Jason Thiessen, directed by James Wooten, and transcribed by Alan Back, with slight modifications by myself. And let's begin.
Ponies go about their business everywhere, and young laughter drifts upward into the Cutie Mark Crusaders clubhouse. The bell rings at the schoolhouse, which stands at a short distance. The floor is covered with spilled glue, paint, and scrapes of paper, ribbon, and other arts and crafts materials. Bloom walks through the mess, visible from the chest down.
I just don't feel like it's quite finished.
The glop has ended on the walls as well, and a poster depicting a pony silhouette marked with a large heart.
I know what you mean. If it's for Miss Cheerily, it needs to be perfect. Hearts and Hooves Day only comes once a year after all.
I say we add a little more ribbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a tiny bit more lace.
The lace is thrown across to fill the screen. When it drops, Bloom walks over to an open paint can of bright violet paint and cheerfully dunks a front hoof in it.
A few more hoof prints.
A splash of paint drains away to show her stomping her daubed hooves across the floor. Scootaloo moves in with a small... It could definitely use a little more glitter. She pours, sending up a swirl of sparkly dust. Sweetie runs a critical eye over the thing, and smiles, and her two cohorts look on with approval.
Now that'll show Miss Cheerily how much we care about her.
It is an enormous heart made from pink construction paper with a lace border and plenty of 4 colors, red, yellow, pink, violet, are stuck on around the edge, and the whole is liberally marked with the hoof prints in white, pink, and violet.
Just have to get it to the Hearts and Hooves party at school.
The little unicorn solution? An envelope that is barely big enough to accommodate the bottom corner. I think we're gonna need a bigger envelope. Chatter is heard from inside the classroom with Cheerily and the Crusaders. They have propped their giant project near her desk. Multicolored banners and heart decorations have been put up everywhere in the room.
It's lovely and so big.
We just wanted to let you know that we think you're the best teacher in the whole wide world. And we think you're super. And that we love you so, so much.
The last couple of words suddenly take on a muffled tone as that thing has come down on top of the trio.
And we want you to have the best Hearts and Hooves Day
Ever!
Thank you so much, girls. I love it. I really do.
I'm sure it's nothing compared to the gifts you've gotten from your very special sun pony.
Cheerily drops the top edge so that it blacks out the screen, and the view quickly snaps to the pair in time for the last 3 words.
Oh, I don't have a very special sun pony at the moment.
All 3 fillies have extricated themselves from the collapsed paper by now. A king-size monkey wrench into their mental works.
Really?
Cheerily nips up a fallen ribbon and sticks it back onto the wall.
How could Sun Pony as amazing as you not have a very special Sun Pony in Hearts and Hoops Day?
The school teacher carefully keeps her face turned away so that the Crusaders cannot see her annoyed expression that comes over her. Evidently, she has heard this question countless times in past years, but she turns to face them with a smile.
It's all right, Sweetie Belle. I have a lot of good friends and wonderful students who care about me very much. I'm gonna have an absolutely terrific Hearts and Hoops Day. All right, every pony, who's ready to play Pin the Heart on the Pony?
The rest of the students clamor for a turn as
Jennifer?
across the room, a blindfolded Twist has a paper heart in her teeth and is working her way towards Cheerily and a pony silhouette poster identical to the one in the clubhouse.
I'm more than alright. I've just come up with the best idea ever!
On the end of this, Twist sticks the heart into Cheerily's chest instead of the picture.
We're gonna find Miss Cheerily a very special sun pony.
That is the best idea ever.
Told ya.
So what are we waiting for? Hearts and Hooves Day is almost over.
The wall.
Let's get out there and find some ponies.
Takes a minute.
Oh gosh. What is happening?
Yeah, the internet. I knew it would throw a monkey wrench in this at some point. But
Reference gag.
yeah, but I'd say just try to work with it the best you can. If you notice you have some sort of like a intermission or interruption, just sort of go back to where you think it happened. Try to work with there.
Okay.
All right, then.
Sorry, there seems to be a lag here. Sorry. Okay. do it. They leap up for a three-way high five, dissolve to a patch of clear afternoon sky, and tilt down to frame them on the prowl through the town square.
Now, it can't just be any pony. Miss Cheerily is one of the best mares in Ponyville. She deserves to have one of the best stallions as her very special sun pony. Cheerily is sweet and kind. She's the best teacher we could hope for. The perfect stallion you and I must find. One who really makes her heart soar. But this one's too young, this one's too old. He really has a terrible cold.
This guy's too silly. He's way too uptight.
I say.
Well, nothing's wrong with this one. He seems alright.
Girlfriend sure thinks so.
How about this one?
He's much too flashy.
She might do.
If she weren't so splashy.
Too short.
Too tall.
Too clean.
Oh no, too smelly.
She's strangely obsessed with tubs of jelly.
I don't think that we're mistaken. It seems all the good ones are taken.
I really feel that at this rate we'll never find the perfect date. Don't wanna give up.
Quit and give up hope.
Yeah.
Anything special for Hearts and Hooves Day?
Oh please, oh please, oh please say
Nope.
yes! We did it, guys. We found the one who will make her teacher's heart a-flutter.
Wait a minute, let me get this straight. Are you talking about my sister?
At Sweet Apple Acres. Macintosh pushes a loaded apple tub across the farmyard with her head. As the Crusaders, watching her from inside the open barn doors, they duck hurriedly for a slow look around. Finding nothing amiss, she goes back to work. Tweety Belle's right. Big Macintosh is the perfect match for Mr. Cheerily. They 3 empty tubs set up across the tree. Big Mac taps the trunk with a rear hoof. She's really nice. Super hardworking.
But she's also pretty shy. She's never gonna ask Mr. Cheerily to be her very special sun pony.
Maybe she doesn't have to.
Huh?
If we can get Big Mac and Mr. Cheerily in a romantic setting, I bet he'll ask her.
Sounds like a plan to me.
So what are we waiting for? Let's get out there and create the perfect date.
They jump and give a 3-way high five. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
A pair of awnings strung up in a small stand of trees in the park. Sweetie is behind them, setting up a picnic spread in the area shaded by this rough gazebo. Bloom and Scootaloo bring over at 1 empty plate each. A phonograph sits on a stool near. Tinge marks the arrival of later afternoon.
Flowers! Don't forget flowers!
Oops. I'm on it.
Scootaloo, meanwhile, spots Cheerily and then Macintosh approaching from different directions and gasps happily. They're coming! This is gonna be perfect! Mr. Cheerily is gonna have the best Hearts and Hooves Day ever!
With his new very special sun pony. Hi, sorry. Hi, boys. Hi, Miss Cheerily.
Sorry.
Hi, Mr. Cheerily.
So you three said you needed help identifying a tree you found here nearby the gazebo?
They nod and zip over to point it out on a hill close by. It is a tree, catching the red-violet instructor off guard.
That's an apple tree.
Is it?
The fillies force a sheepish giggle as the camera cuts to Cheerily. Macintosh walks up, the handle of a toolbox in her mouth. She sets this down, noses the lid up, and comes up with a hammer, only to find nothing within easy reach that needs repairing.
Oh, sorry, big sis. We went and fixed up the gazebo all on our own. See?
Why not have a bite to eat from this romantic-looking picnic? Oh gosh, seems there's only room for two.
I guess we'll just be going then.
The three fillies bug out with almost enough speed to Rainbow. Two very confused grown-up ponies to stare after them. Sweetie leans back into view just long enough to set the needle on the record to start the phonograph. A light waltz begins to play as the Crusaders watch from behind a bush farther down the path. The next two lines are delivered in hushed tones.
You really think this'll work?
Of course it will. They're perfect for each other.
At the scene, Cheerily looks worriedly off toward the vantage point, then tries to get a smile going as she turns to face the puzzled but impassive Macintosh. 2 seconds to work up a remark.
Beautiful day we're having.
Here we go. Oh no!
Yep.
I'll say that line again. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Beautiful day we're having.
Yep.
Any big plans for tonight?
Nope.
A few more seconds pass with no sound except the record. Cut to a close-up of Bloom. The next two lines are delivered in hushed tones.
Oh, come on, Miss Cheerily. Mr. Cheerily, ask him to be your very special pony.
Oh my gosh. Look.
Cheerily leads. Cheerily leans closer to Macintosh, staring intently. The filly's eyes and smiles widen. She leans even closer. The young eyes and smiles grow another size. And now the stallion and mare are practically nose to nose.
Big Mac?
Yep.
The Crusaders' pupils and irises have nearly filled their eye sockets, so far that their faces might split in two at any moment.
You have something stuck in your teeth.
She lifts a hoof to locate the offending bit. The sound of the needle being yanked off the record comes through loud and clear as the camera pans to frame the bush. One hacked-off unicorn filly pops up.
Oh, just a second.
Oh, come on!
Scootaloo swiftly drags her back into hiding. The music resumes, but now the tempo and key waver, as if the turntable can no longer maintain a constant rotation speed. Hand back to Macintosh and Cheerily, the former using a toothpick for a moment to dig out the particle.
Well, this has been strange.
Yep.
I need to get going, but it's always great running into a good friend.
Yep.
Bloom sighs. The blueness of the sky indicates that at least one day has passed.
Do you think it wasn't romantic enough?
Maybe
Maybe it was too romantic.
Oh, sorry, that's not my line.
Okay.
maybe it was too romantic.
Either way, we failed.
There's gotta be something else we can...
With her attention turned towards the others, she does not notice Twilight Sparkle, or the book she is levitating to read as she walks, coming toward her. The resulting collision knocks Bloom backward and drives the book briefly into Twilight's face. It falls to the ground, allowing a clear view of the loaded saddlebag she carries, and the camera cuts to a longer shot of the group. All three Crusaders have gone down in a heap. The fallen book is white rose. Bloom's bow is perked up again.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even see you there. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay, Twilight. It was an accident.
I've just been reading the most fascinating book about Hearts and Hooves Day. Did you know that this holiday got its start because of a love potion?
3 pairs of young eyes once this last sentence filters into the brains wired up to them. Twilight has resumed her studying, but quickly finds herself at a standstill. The 3 Crusaders have slid to a stop on their backs before her.
Did you say a love potion?
That's right. It even has the recipe.
She magically leaps through it and stops on a page that depicts a crowned stallion and mare gazing rapturously into each other.
I don't suppose we could borrow that book for a little while. Do you, think?
Of course you can.
She floats it down so Sweetie can grab it in profile. She levitates another one from her bags.
I have another book here that I think you'll...
She looks around a bit, then glares. Light blue liquid on the table before them. Whoops.
Okay, sorry.
Take a tuft of cloud.
Scootaloo nips a mouthful from a nice white Sweetie, who is in turn supported by Bloom. The tottering tower is at the edge of an unreasonably high cliff. Later, Scootaloo drops the wad into the pitcher so that it dissolves. The liquid has now whitened somewhat.
A bright rainbow's glow.
A vivid rainbow originates somewhere in the Sweet Apple Acre orchards. Scootaloo straightens up into view, holding the end of a vacuum cleaner hosed to the colored arc. She is standing on a tall stepladder to get the needed height, while Bloom keeps an eye on the appliance below. The bright hues are swiftly sucked away, leaving the rainbow in grayscale. Later, Scootaloo sticks the end of the hose into the pitcher to discharge the vacuumed colors.
Stir with a Pegasus feather.
She nips off one of Scootaloo's wings.
Hey!
Fast, not slow.
The layered rainbow colors disappear, and the mixture becomes translucent violet. Once the stirring is done, Scootaloo fills 2 cups.
Serve the 2 ponies who aren't in the know.
They stare wonderingly at the cups, which begin to emit heart-shaped bubbles in close-up. Back at the picnic blanket underneath the gazebo, the phonograph and vase of flowers are still there, but the food... Sweetie sets 1 cup on the opposite side of the vase from the other, then adjusts the flowers. It is late afternoon again.
I feel kind of bad tricking my sister and Mr. Cheerily this way.
What's the problem? We all agreed they're perfect for each other.
Yeah, they just need a little nudge.
And what could make them happier than being together, right?
Right.
Ooh, here they come.
Hiya, Mr. Cheerily.
Hello again, boys. Hello, Big Mac. Would you free like to tell us why it was so important that we meet you here?
Punch!
Excuse me?
Punch! We made punch. We were gonna set up a stand and try to sell it, but, we need some pony to taste it first.
Yep.
Sweetie stares Sweetie stretches up towards the pair at the start of each following sentence, then down again at its end.
We thought you two would be perfect together. To test it. Together.
Farmhand and teacher trade a very confused stare.
So, we'll leave you to test it. We'll leave you two
Which-
alone.
Which nearly enough speed to take the whole spread with them. Sweetie zips back a moment later.
Together. To test it.
Off she goes, Macintosh glancing over her shoulder to mark her landing in the bush that served as the Crusaders' cover on their first try. Her giggle makes itself heard from within the leaves. Yes.
I'm very sorry about this. I mentioned to the girls that I don't have a very special sun pony, and I believe they're putting us in these awkward situations because they decided it should be you.
He gives her a queasy smile. She laughs in response, and he joins in.
I suppose we should just humor them for a moment. This punch does look delicious.
Yup. The Crusaders watch in their hiding place.
I think they're gonna drink it.
To good friends.
They're drinking it! They're drinking it!
A stereo hiccup is the first reaction, followed by gentle smiles and two wisps of vapor that float together to form a bright violet heart between the two pairs of green eyes. As it floats away, they suddenly fix each other with an intense stare, the whites and irises cycling through various shades of pink and violet for a moment.
They're looking into each other's eyes! They're about to be in for a big surprise!
Back to Macintosh and Cheerily on the end of this. Their eyes widen a bit, as do the Crusaders. They lean closer. The trio's eyes and smile grow again, lean still closer. Eyes and smile even larger.
Big Mac,
Yup.
will you be my very special sun pony?
Yup.
Yes!
Scootaloo pops up to shove her back in, but an instant later, all three are eagerly elements.
Alright, time for an intermission. Halfway intermission. And yeah, like I was saying, time to intermission just to shift gears and narrators, as it were, and offer our thoughts on the most recent episodes of MLP. And like this week, well, for this week, like us, MLP went on break, so it's really just discussing the most recent episode, along with any sort of errors or glitches and whatnot that have been happening in our reading so far. Which I didn't really think about it, but having the pauses like this randomly happen actually does make it more in sort of character for Tree Hugger.
Wow, it actually works. Okay.
Oh man.
And I apologize
So, I was saying, any thoughts on the
for the
recent
lag. I
episode?
think it may be on my end.
I think she's trying to talk about the microphone that keeps kind of...
I don't think it's a microphone. I think it's just the internet connection, probably.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's cool.
Are you wireless or?
No.
So, unfortunately, Cadet Redshirt's not seen this episode, so let's try not to give too many spoilers.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, in the most recent episode of My Little Pony, Discord gets jealous of a new friend that Fluttershy is invited to the Grand Galloping Gala and decides to bring along someone of his own called the Smooze, who is
The smooth.
Yeah, it's exactly a reference to the G1 character.
Oh my gosh.
It was green instead of purple, and he's kind of
I
small.
was thinking of Friendship is Witchcraft. That was the first thing
Yeah.
that came to my mind.
Yeah.
And he really likes treasure instead of, I don't know, despair or something.
Yeah.
I must say, I really loved this episode. I thought it was very funny. I'm surprised that Megan McCarthy isn't behind the writing of this episode, because usually with Discord episodes, I don't know, she's usually somewhat involved.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of like visual gags and one-liners and things, you know, just things in the background that you have to really pay attention to.
Right. Who was the one that wrote this episode?
Oh, yeah, it was, I forget her name, but it's the person who did the Pinky Apple Pie and
Oh,
also the Breezy episode.
I think that's Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha.
Levinger. Or whatever. Levinger. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much for Cadet, but you know, with Discord's house, I mean, that was just perfect.
Yeah, that was.
Up and down realm that he lives in, you know, that's all full of mystic creatures and
I love that we got to see that.
yeah.
I love the scene with the mail when the mailman delivers the invitation to the Discord. And he's like, I need to turn left up. Can you direct me to the bottomless pit?
Believe it or not, that's actually Ashley Ball doing the voice.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I could tell that like right away from when as soon as I heard the scream, I knew it was her. Sounded just like Rainbow Dash.
I think that could have been with the male pony. Could have been a missed opportunity for Derpy, but yeah, I'm not mad in any way. It was still fun.
Yeah.
It could have been prime Derpy property, but oh well.
Oh well.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to distance themselves from that. But I forget what, didn't they even say something like flying badger, honey badger, or something like that?
Flying badgers, yes.
Yeah.
Flying honey badgers? When did that pop up?
I think it was like when he was just the mailman.
Badgers. Love it.
You know, there's something interesting about this episode that I don't think anyone's touched on yet. It's like, remember back in season 1 or 2 when Rarity was basically asked on a date by Fancy Pants, but I don't know, I think it was in order to make it not seem like he was asking her out on a date, and they ended up putting Fleur in the background. I think that's kind of the same with Tree Hugger.
Oh, didn't catch that.
It kind of seems like in a way that the writers made a conscious decision not to make him a guy. Not to make her a stallion instead of a mare. Because you see the way Fluttershy reacts around her and the way she talks about, at least in the way she talks about her, and it just seems like this was supposed to be an episode where Discord got jealous over a romantic interest or something.
Yeah, like they tried to make it platonic, but they underestimate the fandom's ability to ship anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
I could imagine all the Fluttercord shippers are just all up in arms.
I know. This is the fandom that put Lyra and Bonbon together.
Exactly.
Does anybody other than me want to just make Tree Hugger? I just call her. I'm starting to call her just Hippie Pony.
Yeah.
Hippie Pony and Stoner Pony is what I've just seen for her.
Thank you for making that reference. I'm not alone. I was thinking I had to pause when I heard Tree Hugger talk. I had to pause it. I'm like, she's high.
Yeah.
She's high as a kite. This is like children's show. My gosh.
Yeah. She's far out, man.
Exactly. It's like all the stereotypes of like hippies and this like tree hugger. Like perfect. That's what they get called. But
yeah,
Hence the name.
I love Discord's kind of derisive laugh at the beginning when he says her name. You know?
yes, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The thing is, we've had hippie ponies in the comics before. I'm surprised that they didn't decide to make them characters in the show.
That is true.
Yeah.
True.
I think it's true, but I think like you brought up earlier, like how they're just trying to create like tension with the friendship thing. So I think they need like a new pony like for that to work. So that's why they want a tree hugger and like, oh, let's just make her hippie.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Way too easy. It's way too easy, way too easy, but still funny though.
I guess when Fluttershy said that she met her on the way to see the Breezies, I'm guessing that's the first time she went to see them. Because,
Probably.
the Breezies are in that magical dimension and they're all closed off from the world, aren't they?
No, it's no. Remember, like they travel like through Equestria at some point, which
Yeah, that's
it's like
what
when it's like the last Discord episode. She went to go look at the Breezies, and that's what sort of created the whole blue Discord thing when she was gone.
Right.
So that was probably where she met her.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Sorry.
That's actually one of the things I want to talk about for my thoughts on the episode. This is kind of like a better Three's a Crowd when you think of it.
Mhm.
It's not exactly the same as Three's a Crowd's premise, because in Three's a Crowd, it was Discord being not being jealous of Twilight, but he was thinking that with Twilight having this new role, she might, suddenly lose interest in her friends and especially Discord. So that's why he tried, he did this whole big scheme with her just to prove that she would do everything for her, for him. But in this episode, it was more of the jealous sort of thing, or he got jealous because his best friend Fluttershy was taken away from by one of her newer friends.
Oh yeah, but it's a really nice moral in the end. Like, you can have
Yeah.
your friends, but don't get jealous if they want to hang out with someone else, because you need variety in your life.
Yeah.
I agree. But then the lesson was once again a really good lesson to learn, and it's a very real issue. There are people who do get jealous of other people's friends. Like, say you have friends in one interest, and then you have friends in another.
Oh yeah.
This is also a mini rehash of Best Day Ever, where we got to see the Grand Galloping Gala again.
Yes. And Fluttershy did not go crazy this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The place is distinctly in better condition.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though, like,
Hooves being there.
yeah, it even turned out like the same way in the end. Like Twilight was like sort of apologizing to Celestia, thinking that like the gala was ruined, but it wasn't. It's just exactly how it went in Best Day Ever.
Oh yes, and you have Celestia. Still enjoying the shenanigans.
She even showed like I want to say her wild side, which I loved. I loved when she did
Right,
that
she was
at
a
the
little
end.
more animated. She was a little more animated. That's like, oh my gosh, Celestia actually raised her voice a pitch.
She finally has character.
Oh my god!
I think it's kind of like Nicole Oliver trying to attain Celestia from the comics. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, they actually had a lot of character like moments for Celestia in season 1. It just like season 2 through 4, like it was basically she was always just the perfect princess figure sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And even like Luna got times like where she could screw up or even have moments of fail. It was like Celestia was always supposed to be like the regal princess, and like this part of like in season 1 was like, yeah, she's sort of like the regal one and all that, but she actually does like to sort of break with tradition every once in a while and just break expectation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets her thrills where she can pretty much, because she's Discord like, oh ho ho. She gets her own, she finds a way to get her own entertainment in her big stuffy world. She's like, I need to shake things up. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
Discord. There you go.
Yeah.
Fluttershy still did not go crazy, but it's not season 1 anymore. That's okay.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Well-
that's like the only issue I already have with the episode is all the characters felt well characterized, but like Fluttershy just she didn't really have much characterization except for at the very end.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so, but
I think like most of like I said, most of her dialogue is basically like small talk in the background that gets interrupted. It's often like the exact same like sort of conversation too.
Right.
It's like
who knows? I think this is Nim trying to see if Discord can handle a whole episode by himself. In a way.
Yeah.
I say, yeah.
and they
I
did
mean,
really well with that.
I mean, yeah, they were like that's the great side of like Discord. Every other character said, I think this is an issue because I always did want that episode that explores Fluttershy and Discord's like friendship and how it interacts, which
Yeah.
didn't so really happen. Like it's basically this is how they have a friendship. Discord gets interrupted. Like you don't always see the actual friendship play out.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, the rest the Discord was just characterized brilliantly. I think the running joke is he is a Tsunade to Tsunade.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to pronounce that really. I'm in anime, but I have no idea how to pronounce it.
I pronounce it Sunder.
Are you talking about
Noted.
Tsunade or Tsundere?
Yeah.
What
Dere?
is that?
Curse you, silent T.
Yeah. Fun.
What's Sunder?
It's Sundari, but I just pronounce it Sunder. I know it's wrong, but fuck it. I'm just gonna call it Sunder because that's what it looks like.
What is it?
It's a Japanese term for a kind of
Like in in anime and also dating games, there's a few specific types of like character archetypes. And like some of the cheating ones are like Dire, like it's just how they end them. But like Susanir is like the most popular one. It basically means you have it's basically the pineapple approach where it's like rough on the outside but sweet on the inside sort of thing.
Ah, I see.
I like that idea, that analogy, pineapple approach. Did anyone notice this in the episode? It is now confirmed that, well, we already know that Pinky pretty much breaks the fourth wall all the time. But in this case, she actually grabs like the camera or whatever and shakes it.
yeah.
All the cakes.
All the cakes.
It's like she's like I'm not going to be outdone with my fourth wall breaking even with Discord.
Yeah.
I must up it.
That was so funny. It's like she's taking out, she's shaking the camera. It's like, so funny.
He wants all the cakes.
You don't want the cakes?
Oh.
I felt so bad for Pinky after she's like, yeah, and after Discord's like, yeah, I'll take all the cakes. And she's like, woohoo! And she gets all the cakes. And
I felt worse for the Smooths throughout the episode.
then afterwards, like,
Yeah.
I'd be so afraid to be like, what am I going to do with all this
Oh,
cake now?
you know, wouldn't it be awesome if the Smooths actually had a line of dialogue and he sounded like Egg Yokio from Ren and Stimpy?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Oh yes.
Oh. I'm just imagining it right now. That would just be so funny.
That would be.
I just actually pictured him like sounding like Bob from that one DreamWorks anime movie with the monsters.
Oh yeah. Which one was
Yeah.
Bob again?
The giant blob.
Hmm.
It was like the parody of the like thing, or the giant blob thing. And like he said like this silly idiotic he was a silly idiot voice. I think the running joke was like he acts like he doesn't have a brain because he doesn't have a brain.
All right. Speaking of monsters, I think maybe even if John Goodman voiced them, might sound funny if they maybe added some sort of reverberation to it. I don't know what the effect would be called.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just
Oh yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Hmm.
No, like, or like at the end it was like, it's like, yeah, it was like, and then it's like he speaks with like the most gentle, like basically actually like at the end he's like, yeah, we should have been nicer, smooth, like, and then he speaks with basically the same voice, like smarty pants, something very sophisticated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When he gives Discord a little kiss in the cheek.
Oh, like they make it sounds French or something like that.
Discord schmooze.
Oh.
Oh man.
Actually, I forget. I couldn't hear in an episode like there was a line he said like I just made him in like the last something minute or something like that.
Oh.
I can remember like I missed that line. Like it sounded like he said he just literally just made him up like from gunk under a sink or something like that in like a few minutes. I forget how they did it. I have to rewatch that and figure out what he actually said.
What, Discord?
Yeah, like he was like mumbling on a line like before he's like, oh yeah, and he was smooth for like thousands of years and like he's like, oh yeah, I made him under a sink or something like that. I forget what he said. It was like he literally just mumbled something like how smooth is made.
I forgot that.
All right, we're approaching the time limit here. If you have any final thoughts on this episode and the smooths and tree hugger, as it were.
Pretty great episode. One of the good ones of the season.
Yeah.
Love the Metal Gear Solid reference.
Yep. That was
Snake!
awesome.
And the reference to Dumb and Dumber. I love that.
Yeah.
Last thought of it is apparently the laws to legalize weed exist in Equestria.
Yes.
Tell me they're telling me 420 in Equestria.
And well, it's not so much about legalizing as in never outright banning.
Spike now has a smoking buddy.
I believe it.
One of my favorite gags has to be Rarity's reaction to getting covered in whatever that stuff was.
Oh yeah.
It's when she bursts through the door and you have like bop, bop, bop.
I think my favorite was actually the follow up where Discord sucked all of it off and also her clothes and like she pretended like she was naked and like crawled away like embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another callback to Best Day Ever, because in that episode, when they were getting dressed up and Spike wanted to come into the room and she was like, no, we're not dressed, and Applejack said, we don't normally wear clothes. So, yeah. She still thinks that in this episode.
Oh my goodness. That was funny.
Kinda, I mean, she's in a room full of fancy clothed ponies, and she's the only one not wearing a dress. I don't know. It's you kind of get it in a way.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like when that apple cider season where like Rainbow Dash pulled the covers off Fluttershy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like it that the Crusaders actually got to go to the gala and they're getting ready with the Crusaders and Applejack. It's not life changing and
it's like this is love.
The Crusaders were so adorable.
That was cute. That was cute.
And they weren't talking about their cutie mark throughout all their appearance.
Yay!
Thank God.
Yay! We get a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Instead, we got, we're going to the gala! We're going to the gala!
We're plus one! We're plus one!
That was so adorable!
That was adorable!
Oh my God, I love that.
I love the Discord's reaction to it. It's like, ugh!
Yeah.
Oh, when Discord comes out of Spike's bed. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh God, it was like, no! Discord, what are you doing?
I know. I just watched that like 6 times. Oh,
Oh man.
Actually, reminded me of like I just reading some of their catching up and not really catching up, but like their most recent Batman comic arc, and there's a scene where like the Joker pops out of pops out from under Gordon's bed.
Oh my god.
Right, yeah.
That's so many levels.
You know what's
Yes,
funny? Yeah, sorry. You know what's funny? We got to see Spike's bedroom in the castle twice this season, but none of the others. Like none of the other ponies. Or
Well, they already have bedrooms, but they did decorate the other rooms.
no, wait. Was it? Oh, it's only Twilight that lives in the castle. Sorry,
yeah.
for some reason I thought all the main six had lived in the castle now. So no.
That's just in the toy set.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
don't know what they did say. Like each one decorated a room.
Right, yeah. But it's just Twilight that lives there now, and Spike. But we haven't seen Twilight's room though.
It's probably gonna look the same thing as it did in Golden Oaks Library. I'm willing to bet.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's probably-
Now with stuffed animals.
Right, yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Like, do the main six like live in that castle? Is it? And do they still have? They still have their like I guess occupations because apparently Pinky still works with the cakes.
Yeah.
Applejack still works on the farm. So I'm wondering if they go back to their own homes, like Applejack goes back to the barn, or do they just go home to the castle?
Yeah, I don't think Rainbow Dash really cares where she lives. I mean, she's always sleeping on clouds.
Oh, that's right. And she's still back up in Cloudsdale, so never mind.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Awesome.
She doesn't live in Cloudsdale, but she does live in like a cloud house that just sort of floats around.
Yeah.
Right.
That thing is a castle in itself.
True. She lives in a cloud.
But yet, it's like she barely spends any time there. You know, most of the time she's just living on different clouds floating above the sea.
True. Or maybe she could just morph any cloud into whatever home she wants. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
when we wrap up, then I can just morph them into a ranch house.
All right, let's move back on to the episode. All right, everyone, to be ready to kick back in.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, start up with the. And let's say we start with Scootaloo pops up with the narration, just to sort of kick it back in.
Alrighty. Scootaloo pops up to shove her head back in, but an instant later, all three are eagerly watching these new developments.
She's a special sun pony. She's a
She's a
special sun.
special sun pony.
She's my special sun pony.
Yup.
The Crusaders stop their hopping and float slightly clear of the ground with pure glee.
Aww.
Aw.
He's my schmoopy doopy sweetie pony pie.
The string of love-struck nonsense leaves the fillies hopelessly confused.
You're my schmoopy doopy sweetie weedy pony pie.
Did he just say? Yes, she did. As first her eyes and then his briefly display the effects of the love potion again, the three brewers can only watch helplessly.
You're my cutie patootie lovey-dovey honey bunny.
You're my hearty smarty smoochy woochy baby waby.
Big Mac! Hey! Hello? Her perspective of his stupidly smiling face. What's going on?
Mr. Cheerily, are you alright?
I have a special sun pony. A kissy-wissy snuggy-wuggy sugar bear.
He and Big Macintosh lean in and close to rub noses.
I think we may have given him too big a nudge.
You're my cuddly wuddly boopsy whoopsy pumpkin pie. You think?
Snap to black. Act 3. The following day at the Crusaders Clubhouse. What have we done? Inside, she paces the floor while the partners study the book borrowed from Twilight. My sister's acting like a grade A goofball.
Maybe we added too much rainbow.
Or maybe not enough cloud.
Maybe. Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh?
We might not have given Big Mac and Mr. Cheerily a love potion. We may have given them a love poison.
What?
What? On the relevant page, two enraptured ponies gazing at each other.
Apparently some prince a long time ago whipped up this recipe and gave it to this princess he liked. He made it to be a love potion, but things didn't turn out so well.
How not so well did things turn
Well,
out?
there's something here about a dragon, a kingdom falling, chaos reigning. Okay, apparently it was all because the prince and the princess were so lost in each other's eyes that they couldn't perform their royal duties.
She looks up from the pages, her green eyes broadcasting fear and uncertainty, clearly enough to be picked up in Appaloosa. Great! We've not only turned Big Mac and Mr. Cheerily into a couple of nonsense-spouting nincompoops, we may have put all of Ponyville in jeopardy! Her rancor gives way to a pitiful-eyed pout and a slam of her face against the nearest table. The other filly's jaws drop at the sight, and they quickly come up on either side of him.
Come on, Apple Bloom. Mr. Cheerily and Big Mac don't have any royal duties.
But they still got responsibilities. If we don't fix this... Tilt up to ceiling level as a thought balloon forms above her head. Cheerily appears within it, teaching a bit of arithmetic, but fades from view during the next line. Oh no, Miss Cheerily won't be able to teach. The mental picture dissolves and fills the screen to show Big Macintosh at an apple tree. She too vanishes. Big Mac won't be able to harvest any apples. Dissolve to the exterior of the schoolhouse. And before you know it, another dissolve, and the entire property becomes dilapidated. Weed-choked wreck under a windy gray sky. Yet another frames Sweet Apple Acres and afflicts all the trees with a blight. Ponyville streets are filled with panicking locals. Ponyville will be overrun with uneducated little ponies starving for apples. On the end of this, Lily runs up, wearing a dunce cap and rearing up to display an empty, growling stomach. Bonbon screams. Oh, it'll be chaos! It'll be chaos! Apple Bloom panics that his histrionics have left Scootaloo very confused while Sweetie keeps reading.
There's an antidote.
Ugh, well, why didn't you say so? Didn't you see me getting all panicked back there?
If we can keep Mr. Cheerily and Big Mac from looking in each other's eyes for a full hour, the love curse will be broken.
Only an hour? We can pull that off in a second.
All smile. At Sugar Cube Corner, an extremely bewildered Mr. Cake inside.
You take the first sip, Snuggle Wuggles.
A slightly revolted look comes over the baker's face. The new couple is here, standing with their hind legs on stools to face each other over an ice cream soda. Their forelegs rest on the table, propping up their heads. Each pushes the glass toward the other in time with the next three lines.
No, you take it, Schnoodle Bump.
Oh, sorry. No, you Schnooky Lumps.
No, you, Pookie Pie.
Mr. Cake crosses to the Crusaders, now inside the front door.
I'm all for romance, but this has been going on for hours.
Big Mac and Cheerily now have the soda's cherry caught between their teeth and give it a few nibs without breaking the skin.
What's happened to these two?
Who knows?
The shopkeeper aims a skeptical glance at the trio, whose eyes all shift to avoid contact with theirs. After a few seconds that feel like a month, he smiles and turns back towards the shop floor.
Well, these lovebirds will probably be planning a wedding soon. We can always use the catering business.
A few thoughts percolate under the three young mains. Sweetie is first to speak up.
A wedding! That's it!
Macintosh and Cheerily in the foyer look at the soda's froth.
Miss Cheerily and Big Mac should get married.
How is getting hitched gonna keep them apart?
They aren't really gonna get married. They're just gonna get ready to get married.
Bloom and Scootaloo trade a look as if to ask, did she leave her brain hanging on the clothesline this morning? Meanwhile, Macintosh and Cheerily have resumed pushing the soda toward each other in turn.
Now you, Biscuit Whisket Bear.
Nope, you, Huggy Wuggy Snuggy Bunny.
Her push is a bit too energetic and sends the glass off the table. Sweetie chooses this moment to cut in.
Hi, Miss Cheerily. How are you?
I have a very special sun pony.
He hugs it. Pan to Macintosh. She lifts a picture of Cheerily bopping Sweetie under the chin with its edge.
I have a very special sun pony.
Yeah, we noticed. She drops out of sight as they rub noses. Sweetie inserts herself before things can go any further. However, they keep trying to reach past them and get hooves on each other.
Gosh, you two are so in love, the next thing you know, you'll be getting married.
He backs away, allowing them to slam together head on.
Married?
That's right. Married.
Married.
Bloom claps her
Married.
hoof.
It's slow in the drop there.
Alright, let's get this show on the road.
Bloom claps a hoof over his suddenly bulging cheeks in order to stop himself from blowing chunks all over the room. Once he is able to chew it back, he lets his tongue hang out with a disgusted wretch. Sweetie nudges him in the ribs to start him forward. Close above the couple, Macintosh retreats from the table without either of them noticing. Of course, if you're gonna get married, you want to pick out a really nice diamond for your schmoopy doopy pookie pie. He's nearly bulldozed her out the door by this point. Now she starts with fright.
Diamond?
She races out, stool and all, the door slamming behind her.
Schmoopy?
He tries to follow, but Scootaloo and Sweetie are there to block.
Don't you think you should start looking for your wedding dress? You'll want to look best for your, honey bunny snuggle baby.
Cheerily's eyes pop, and he jumps up with a gasp, his limbs windmilling in the midair.
Oh, dress.
He rockets out of the place, smashing the front door to splinters and nearly inflicting the same fate on Bloom. Outside, Sweetie leads him out at a gallop, with Scootaloo bringing up the rear.
Now we just need to keep him apart. I'll keep Mr. Cheerily occupied. You two do the same with Big Mac.
No problem. Ponyville Clock Tower, standing on its hill outside the town proper, reads 5 o'clock and the bell rings to mark the hour.
Meet you back in the clubhouse in an hour when this whole thing is over.
He peels off to his left while the other two gallop away to their right. At Carousel Boutique, zooming in slowly, Cheerily and Sweetie are inside. The former is frantically looking over a rack of white wedding gowns.
This one looks nice. You better try it on, though.
Before the marrying man can do more than look over the swinging doors, his overeager assistant shoves the whole rack in as well. His next moves leave an assortment of items piled up to block the doors, including a chair, couch, kitchen sink, and a ladder. The puzzled red-violet face is left barely visible above the door and junk. Sweetie gallops to a window and looks out. Cut to a long shot of the clock tower. 5:10.
10 minutes down. 50 minutes to go.
Macintosh and Bloom look over the wares on display inside a jewelry shop. The proprietor straightens up behind the counter and sets a ring out for inspection. Blue-gray earth pony stallion, white light gray mane tail, light brown eyes, diamond ring cutie mark, magnifying spectacles on nose, white shirt with dark gray necktie under a brown vest. Macintosh nods enthusiastically at the ring, but Bloom pushes it disdainfully aside. Nah. Her face falls. Cut to a close-up of the case, panning along its length as the jeweler points out one item after another. Macintosh's reflection nods at each, but Bloom's rejection drops her into the dumps. No, not that one either. No, too shiny. No, you know, some less shiny. The jeweler picks it up and turns away with a low groan of frustration. Mr. Cheerily deserves the best. The clock tower now shows the time as just past 5:30 as Scootaloo watches from a window inside the shop. Bloom zips up to him. How much time is left? I'm running out of ways to make diamonds sound bad.
We still have 25 minutes.
The little earth pony voices a long, pained moan and turns away from the window. Macintosh has vacated the premises. He zips to the counter. Where's my sister? Who's that jeweler?
He made his purchase and departed out back. Said something about needing to see his Smooky Moo?
Both fillies gag and retch up hearing this latest idiotic pet name. The clock tower, which rings to mark the time as 5:45. Okay, I'll see what I can do to slow her down. You go on to Carousel Boutique and warn Sweetie Belle. They split up. Macintosh, who has apparently taken a page from Pinkie Pie's book and is hopping down the street in her trademark style. Let's see. Bloom races up behind her, stops for a moment to time her next move, and leaps to grab a mouthful of tail hair. The added load slows her not one iota, and her tail stretches like a rubber band, slamming her down every time she jumps and flicking him upward when she lands. He comes close after a few hard bounces. A bit of dust floats up in the front of the blissful stallion, accompanied by a grinding sound, and Bloom crouched down in a new attempt to slam on the brakes. His front hooves are dug into the street, his rear ones shoved up against Macintosh's forelegs, but this has, too, a negligible effect on his motion. She quickly hops over him and continues down the street as a pair of oxen tow a wagon load of anvils along. A coil of rope lying among the metal blocks catches Bloom's attention. In a twinkling, he has part of it in his mouth and a fierce new resolve in his eyes. Macintosh hops back as a loop flicks into view and catches one of the pegs on her hitching collar. The rope snaps taut under Bloom's calculating grin. He has hooked his sister to the wagon to stop a cold. However, the oxen give a very big surprise when they start to be dragged backward. As they scramble uselessly for a purchase on the street, Macintosh hauls them and the wagon at her original speed. Bloom moans sadly at the sight and glances up to see the clock tower displaying the time of 5:54. He gasps in surprise and begins to sweat profusely. At Caribou's boutique, Scootaloo gallops up while Sweetie peeks out through a cat flap set into the diamond-shaped cutout in the front door's bottom half.
What's wrong? Where's Apple Bloom? Where's Big Mac?
On her way. Gotta keep her out of boutique.
The little unicorn looks frantically to each side, then straight ahead, and smiles broadly. Macintosh hops past in front while Bloom gallops behind it. One end of the rope from the wagon is still on her collar, the other in his teeth, and he quickly circles the building to form a loop. A quick move knots the rope so that it snaps taut. He grins smugly, but the mood is short-lived. Huh? The rope creaks under the strain, and Macintosh quickly slows to a stop as the house's occupant throws open a window. To her great shock and confusion, she is now living in a mobile home. Literally, since the stallion, or mare, is now hauling it down the street. Bloom gallops to keep pace. Ahead, Carousel Boutique, with Scootaloo and Sweetie nowhere to be seen. Bloom's lightning-fast glance at the clock tower apprizes him of the time, 5:57. His eyes pop, and he puts on a burst of speed. A few seconds later, he has pulled even with his sister and jumped up to wrap all four short legs around her neck with a new bid to impede her. No good. As the improbable house mover approaches the carousel boutique, Scootaloo and Sweetie look worriedly toward them. Both are now quite filthy.
Move away!
She'll get to him. She's too strong.
Let her go!
Bloom jumps clear, but the two friends look on the verge of freaking out.
Schmoopy-doo! Whoa!
She has fallen into a freshly dug pit. This explains Sweetie's interest in the shovels and the dirt on both her and Scootaloo. They used sods to camouflage the opening. All three Crusaders look over the edge with relieved smiles, and Scootaloo sighs.
I sure am glad you found those shovels.
During this line, the red workhorse has landed on a mattress at the bottom of the pit, and the two shovels have been placed down there as well. At the clock tower, a click of the minute hand advances it even closer to 6 o'clock. Back to the trio, now cleaned up. Ugh. One more minute and the spell will be broken.
Schmoopy-doo!
Cheerily shoves her head through the pile.
Sweetums!
The barricade shakes and falls apart under the force of his assault. As Macintosh starts to climb up, the Crusaders shoot a scared look towards the clock tower. The minute hand is easing toward its peak, but more important things are happening at the building. A few strikes from inside bow the front door outward on its hinges and finally knock it down, taking most of the wall with it. There stands Cheerily, a bridal veil pinned to her mane. His mane.
Mac.
Schmoopy-doo!
Okay. The voice brings a smile to the stallion's face, but the three fillies grin and tilt their bodies to keep him from getting a clear line of sight. Frustrated, he breaks into a gallop. As Macintosh gets her head clear, the Crusaders step in front of her. The minute hand clicks along. Scootaloo leans over so that Macintosh's next lunge cannot be seen. Cheerily continues his headlong charge. Another blocked climb occurs just before the minute hand advances up to 12, but the Crusaders cannot appreciate it for long before the crazed teacher barrels straight into them. Three young equines are flung upward in slow motion, their yells echoing at half speed, and Cheerily leaps toward Macintosh as she gets her head above the ground again. An instant later, momentum and gravity bring him down for a direct hit between the two skulls. Normal speed resumes. They tumble down into the pit amidst clouds of dust. The clock tower strikes the hour, and the Crusaders advance cautiously to the edge of the pit. Oh, please, please be normal. Please be normal. Macintosh sits on her haunches. Cheerily is upright, and both are staring up with a total lack of comprehension. Back to the trio, equally puzzled.
Am I wearing a wedding veil?
Yep.
Are you sitting on a feather bed in a hole in the ground?
Yep.
Girls, can you explain why it looks like I'm getting married at the bottom of a pit?
The trio, who display a combination of placating grins and evasive glances.
We may have given you the teeny tiniest bit of a love potion, and may have turned out to be actually a love poison, and you may have gone just the teeny tiniest bit nutty.
But we only did it because we thought you and Big Mac would be really happy if you could be each other's very special Sun Ponies on Hearts and Hooves Day.
Our hearts and hooves were in the right place.
We appreciate that you care about us and want us to be happy, but
But no matter how good our intentions might have been, we should have never meddled in your relationship.
No pony can force two ponies to be together.
And it's up to every pony to choose that very special someone for themselves. We're sorry.
Sorry.
and you can think about how sorry you are while you're doing all of Big Mac's chores at Sweet Apple Acres. Does that sound like a fair punishment to you?
Yep.
Fade to a nearby nearly full apple bin under the late afternoon sky. A tub is lifted over the edge and dumped in by Bloom, as Scootaloo and Sweetie bring up one of their own and set it down. All three wipe the sweat from their foreheads and groan wearily. Behind them, Cheerily approaches with Big Macintosh right behind. He no longer wears the veil. Hey there, Mr. Cheerily. What are you doing here?
Oh, since you three are doing all of his chores, Big Mac and I thought we'd have a picnic at the gazebo. Right, Sugar Bear?
Yup, pumpkin pie.
The Crusaders suck in a panicked triple grasp, and Sweetie stuffs both front hooves into her mouth. They are so shocked that they completely miss the knowing wink that passes between the two. Evidently, the lovebirds have turned pranksters for the moment. Macintosh and Cheerily amble off together.
No!
As they scream, the couple walking off towards the sunset fade to black.
And, well, this concludes our second broadcast, or at least the script reading of FimScripted Episode 2. And, well, actually, wait, no. Well, that was Hearts News Day read, so what are your thoughts on the read and whatnot?
Thoughts on
Pretty good.
That was so funny.
Oh my gosh. Those gender swap, like, we should have edited this.
Yeah.
I just crack up every time I have to read one of those, pet name lines.
Oh, me too.
Smoopy doopy doopy bye.
Pumpkin, pumpkin, pika, burka, boo. Well, I'm starting to sound more like the Swedish chef now.
Oh, yes.
It was funny, like, trying to, like, be all cute and they'd be like, Schmoopy doing it! The line is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I actually think, like, gender swap to Big Mac, I actually think was a funny, like, just I imagine, like, gender swap, like, Big Mac, like, but Little Mac or something like that.
Yeah.
For some reason, Fluttershy just came to mind when I was like, female Big Mac. I'm like, why not give it a shot?
Oh man.
Yeah, Richard, I really liked your narrator voice.
Oh,
think-
thank you.
Were you going for an English style?
I was trying to, but me trying to focus on the italics and then trying to do that as well, I was like, I'm probably failing really bad.
It wasn't so bad.
You actually reminded me of, like, I think it's Garnet from Steven Universe.
I have not seen that yet, actually.
She's like the one with the afro, like, you can just look up. It's basically, she has a, I guess African Britain accent sort of like thing where it's like very funky, but like robotic because like she's the robotic-y one of the cast.
Oh, wow. I'll have to watch that to double check.
I mean, it's actually a pretty good show. It's like I'd say Steven Universe is basically if MLP was more full-on comedy instead of what it is. Sort of actually reminds me a lot of like Courage the Cowardly Dog. How just sort of insane stuff sort of happens, and it's like, oh yeah, another day in this town.
God, it's starting to get light outside.
Really? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I always feel bad.
Oh.
It's alright. It is like 4 a.m. over here.
Yeah, it was like 6 when we started for me, and I was like right in the middle of dinner, so that's why I was like, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like around 10:50 right now.
Oh,
Still
thank-
my birthday.
Ah,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Birthday to you today!
Turning 20.
Nice.
No longer a teenager.
Awesome!
Decade.
How'd you
Yeah.
spend it?
I went to a restaurant and I went back home. Pretty normal.
Yeah. And then you did a radio show podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast, not so podcast. As it has been described.
Jen
Must have been so
bought one.
painful for you to sit there and not have any, drinks.
Right.
Officially.
It was a gender swap podcast, so plenty of fun to be had.
Yeah.
All right, I forgot. It's over 21 in America, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 21.
Yeah.
What is
Sorry,
it in?
I'm so used to like 15-year-olds sneaking into clubs and drinking all night,
It's
Oh.
18 in like England, isn't it?
Yeah, in
It's England,
Scotland,
Scotland.
It's, over 18s. Really, I think it should be raised somewhat.
Yeah, like the talk's the opposite in the U.S.
Yeah.
Most because of 21, so many people want to get down, which I sort of agree. I think it should actually be basically tiered, like a tiered system. But basically, at 18 or something like that, you can actually drink within your house or something like that, or family. You just can't buy it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 27. I mean, I've got no big milestones until I reach like my 50s when I can officially apply for like a pension or a prostate exam or something like that.
Oh, gee.
That was not the answer I was expecting. You're not that old.
Not yet. No.
Come on,
No,
John.
I'm just saying that's my next big milestone when I turn into my 50s.
I would have thought you would have said like 30s, so that way your car insurance goes down or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'd have to have a car for that.
True.
Well, at least I can imagine in Scotland you have better public transportation system.
Oh yeah.
I suppose, it's not the worst. It's not the best.
Yeah, U.S. it's bad, particularly in the Cincinnati area.
Oh yeah.
It's bad everywhere.
Well,
No, and like there's literally nothing in Cincinnati besides occasional bus, and we had a subway system that was being made, but like they stopped that like around World War One, after World War II times, I forget. There's tunnels built, but like nothing in them.
Oh gosh.
well,
We have a red Apple Transit, and that's it.
I mean, I
There's
can
like
imagine.
there's no
everything.
taxi services. There's no like that's it. And they're like
Yeah.
little short red buses, like really short. They're like 6-seaters, I think. And I'm like, that's technically a van, but you guys had to make it look like a bus, like a
Yeah.
school bus.
I guess as
Right in the
tricky and as big I
truck
think
bus
this
and-
country is sometimes, and I'm guessing in America it's just so much bigger. I mean, compared to you, Scotland's like I don't know, like a freckle.
That's about the size of a
Yeah.
state, I would say.
I would say South Carolina,
Yeah.
not the size of South Carolina. I mean, not that I'm like looking at anything. That's just like a guesstimation from what I see in my brain.
We're like 3 times bigger than Japan, and yet they've got 10 times the population or something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I think that's one thing is I talk to people international and whatnot, like, and it's like even like one professor put it like this way, like he said, when you're talking to some people that are from Europe, like they don't often understand just how big the U.S. is in relative, so they think, oh, you're like visiting California, like, oh yeah, let's just go to Vegas, and it's like 300 miles or so away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's pretty far because U.S. is pretty much the size of Europe.
Just
Yeah.
about, yeah.
That was a lovely tangent.
Yeah, we're talking about this. Well, it doesn't really matter. We talked about the episode. After episode is basically off tangent fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's everybody done with their weeks? Anything fun?
Yeah.
Just working.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
No, I was
I
like,
just
go ahead.
So, sorry, I've just been staying at home, doing nothing
Yeah.
because finals are over for me.
Oh yeah, finals were a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here. I mean, I just recently finished off my last essay, and I keep getting the question off my mum and dad, like, did you do it? Did you do it? Is it over? It's like, what are you doing next? It's like, "Ugh, I don't want to do anything next. I've
Yeah.
studied for like the last 10 years, and I'm sick of it. I'm done. You
Mm.
know, it's not really helped me in a way that, I mean, I was on a drama course, and yeah, lately some stuff has happened, and I'm not sure if the drama department's even going to exist next year. So
Oh.
yeah, I never planned to go back in the first place, but still, you know, things have happened.
Yeah.
And well, most recently I've been thinking about writing out some monologues to try some different voices out. I also created a Facebook group called the Scottish Voice Actors Group, and it's gotten quite a lot of members. I had a feeling that Scotland didn't have too many people who were keen on voice acting, so this is why I decided to start up this group, because I felt really alone in my interests. And ever since I started up, there's been maybe 30, 40 people applying for it, so I'm quite happy with that.
That's nice.
I look forward to what that could create in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, myself, speaking of university, I just graduated like last week. So it's like the fun work of trying to actually find a job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I applied officially for a LLC, so I technically am my own business owner right now for video production. Huzzah.
Cool.
I mean, it's cool. It's sort of cool. Like now, I'm just trying to look through all the research to actually for just hiring employees, sort of thing. Which I found is like it's like jumping into a bottomless abyss, like trying to get a small business. Oh gosh, yeah. Just because like you have to actually like, oh yeah, even if it's a part-time employee, you have to make sure you have to pay them. You have to get workers' comp insurance just to hire an employee, even if it's like super temp. And the IRS now wants you to. I found out like, hey, you can't just like if I'm doing a video production and just hire someone just for one job, they still want you to count as an employee instead of a temporary hire-on or a.
Yeah.
It's like, yay.
So many hoops.
It's actually interesting because going into like UK law and whatnot, they have some actually very convenient terms of like zero. I found for this sort of work, like I think it's like 0-hour contract and casual worker and whatnot, which basically you pay by the hour how much you work and you're sort of on, but you may not necessarily be paid by an hour for like months.
Well, that's something that's not very popular over here. I don't know much about it, but yeah, it's like 90% of the workforce in different companies, they use 0 hours contracts, and it's kind of inconvenient to people.
I mean, it's inconvenient, but like imagine just for like my job career or something like video production, or basically
I guess so, yeah.
you hire people on just for like a job. That's one big job. And then you just let them go. But like this is, you still have them referencing them and still have stuff, but you don't need to.
Oh yeah, I'd say your job is more like freelance work than
Like I said, it used to be sort of like everyone just cover under freelance. The IRS or our tax people are like, no, they're employees now. You need to pay taxes for them, and
yeah,
because you're a small business, we're gonna make sure to squeeze you extra tight.
yeah.
Actually, right now, I don't know if because we're in the brony community and whatnot, I'm actually looking for some potential like artists just to commission to basically just for like a logo purposes, but like it's sort of I'm going for like a cartoonish look. If any of you know any artists,
Yeah, I could set you
recommend.
up.
Just looking around, like my official company's name. Yeah, like an artist, like DeviantArt, just for like a $50 logo thing, just basically for the
I
company.
do stuff.
Oh yeah, There's a Facebook group called the Milo Pony Drawing Group. You might want to take a look at. They're pretty good.
But
I mean,
yeah, just someone. There's something
there's
that.
There's a couple of people I'm kind of connected to. One girl called Katie Ferguson, and the other one you probably know her as Mad Munchkin.
Oh yeah, Mad
Yeah,
Munchkin.
I actually looked up.
Amy. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I am subscribed to her. I actually looked up her rates. I figured it's just because she doesn't really do sort of job I was looking for. Sort of thing. But I actually did look up her like contract. Like she has a docs page now. But I said actually something like that with like more not hand drawing, but like sort of like more sketches. What I'm looking for, because my company's name is actually Hippogriff Productions.
Oh yeah.
Which I actually chose that name not because it's MLP related, believe it or not, or Silver Quill related, as most I think would think, but actually,
No,
like basically,
made that statement clear. Hippogriffs are based on mythology.
yeah, that's actually what I was going for, is because the really fun story behind this is like the sub college at my university I study under is informatics, and our new building that was constructed is the Griffin Hall. And basically, it's like everyone in our media thing, which that's people I'm going to be working with, possibly hiring in the future, is basically Griffin. Everyone's been there. But two things. One, Griffin is extremely popular name for any business, like within the state. So it's like, yeah, it's sort of used, but also it's like, all right, I need something different, but I want something related where it's basically mythology-ish. And it's like, oh wait, we're the equestrian state. Like I'm from Kentucky. So it's like, oh yeah, what's this hippogriff? Griffin, both like a horse and have a lion. That fits perfectly.
Awesome.
On Google search later, and it was like, oh wait, that fits.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Anyone else got like a idea for a business name?
What?
No, I was just wondering if anyone else had a name for a business, in their head.
Not really, no.
I just wondered. Is everyone still here?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I think I just learned that. I think we just learned that taxes related things and are not the most thriving conversation subjects.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is anyone cosplaying anytime soon?
Me.
Yes, actually, in 2
Where are you
weeks.
going as?
Who, me?
Yeah, whoever.
Oh, I'm actually doing a Fluttershy cosplay, and
Nice.
I have another one for an anime that I watch.
What's the anime?
It's Hetalia. I'm actually going as America.
Oh yeah, Italia, full of
Another
all
one
this,
of those popular ones.
full of so many stereotypes in the best way.
The best American.
So, it's absolutely the best way.
Cool. Still to watch that one actually. Seen so many.
Oh man, I think it's still on Netflix.
Yeah.
Basically the concept behind Italia is basically stereotypes of like basically all the countries are like basically stereotyped as characters.
Yeah.
And like that's the idea. Like America's like this always sort of showboaty-ish person that's always trying to take the lead.
Yeah.
And then like I think,
Burgers.
and then like UK is basically very more traditional as a horrible cook and like always sort of is in dreamland, imagining fairy tales and whatnot.
I don't know where that came from, the whole horrible cook thing.
I think it's mostly just a stereotype, just because like compared to a lot of other European countries and like England's just not as well known for its like culinary arts. So like it's Italy, France, like Netherlands, and like Spain. A lot of them have more ethnic cuisines and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess so. mean, like up in Scotland, we're not all kilt-wearing gingers. You know, we're
No, we know.
yeah.
It's just the stereotypes are what make the show hilarious.
Yeah, I
The
think
best. It's the best stereotype of America that I've seen in a long
Yeah.
time.
I know, me too.
Oh, then like Italy's basically a nincompoop.
Yeah, he's
Basta!
the cowardice.
I think
Big
one of my
coward.
friends actually dressed up as I don't know, he was wearing a kilt with a Scottish flag. I think he said he was cosplaying as someone from Italia, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I
They
meant
have
to
a
ask
Scottish
it.
character in it.
That's what I meant to ask actually, like because I haven't kept up on the series. Is there like Scottish character or?
Wow. I'm trying to remember if all the nations that are represented.
They have him
I-
in the actual manga series. They haven't put him in the anime.
I haven't seen a Scotland character in the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think so because like the
Canada.
thing- I didn't think so. Like they're very off sometimes with what countries, because sometimes they'll do countries that don't exist anymore or were independent, but then other times they'll like just stick with like modern as in World War II countries.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
primary timeline.
If I could go back to the, cosplay talk again. Recently, over the last couple of days, I've been putting together a costume for Danny from Catstone Dance and Ed from Ed, and Eddie.
Oh my
Which-
gosh, cool!
Wait,
From Cats.
Which Ed?
Dance?
Double D or
Awesome.
wait, Double D Ed or regular Ed?
Yeah, Dumb Ed.
All right.
Okay.
Because a couple of months back, I went to a small comic convention, and there were a couple of guys dressed up as Double D and Eddie, and they
That's
didn't have an Ed with them, so I kind of volunteered because I had a big black coat on, and it kind of made us look like it. We spent the whole day kind of running around like the characters and filming ourselves out in the streets, chasing a jawbreaker. And
Did you actually run like the character
yeah, I tried to. It was so
in
damn hard.
in the cartoon? Nice.
It's like he just puts his entire back, sorry, he's like leading right from the hips, so
Right.
it's so hard to run like him.
But actually, remind you, the funny thing is that Ed's voice actor is actually does Soren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
really?
actually got to.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I actually got to meet him a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and let me see another fun. Because I actually went to I actually filmed at cons and interviewed some people. The actress who does the actress who did Babseed. She's actually the daughter of Vegeta's voice.
Brenna and Brian Drummond.
Yeah.
All right.
And actually, I forget what character he's actually in MLP too. Can't remember.
He
Breeze.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Seabreeze.
Sea breeze, the
Oh yeah, Seabreeze does it.
little breezy.
Oh, that's right. He's one of the breed.
Yeah.
I was so surprised when that turned out to be a guy. I mean, this pink-haired blue thing with a leotard, that's a guy.
Well, if Natsu's proven anything, you can still pull off pink hair and be a male.
Yeah. Because weren't they using helium to make his voice?
It was probably to just like lower the pitch shift.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was actually probably a lot of it's more natural than you would think, but like, but then you just use pitch shift now since it's so.
Yeah, and he probably spoke slower than he did.
Maybe. Because I remember there were he was doing a thing based on like, since he's like the voice of Vegeta and voice of Seabreeze, they were doing something at some convention and they filmed a video where like he was doing the over 9,000 scene, but with the voice of Seabreeze. I don't know if any of you saw that.
I gotta find that. Like, is it a video? Because I need to find that if it does.
Yeah, that's a video. Probably find it on YouTube. Because he used helium for it. I don't know if he used helium for Seabreeze's voice in the show or not.
Like they probably just pitch seen it in the show. But like, yeah, helium is because it's a convention thing, so he just needs to do it live.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
I guess so,
too much different. Using a helium.
Too much helium is actually a little bit dangerous for you.
It is, yeah.
It is, but like it's like too much of everything. But like helium, it's just basically don't choke yourself, like literally.
Yeah, it's not as worse. It's not as bad as sulfur hexafluoride, which it makes your voice sound deeper.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely hilarious, but
Yeah.
that's more.
Because it's heavier than air, and you have to really get it out,
Yeah.
or it stays in.
I don't know how much deeper my voice can go.
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna just cut off the chat right now. If anyone final goodbyes before I just like stop the broadcast.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.